Okay, what I wanted to do in this, for the next few minutes, is that one of the big challenges that is often faced with projects is one where you recruit a project team, and having recruited your team, then everybody is all enthusiastic about a project. But what happens is in the midst of all of that, while things are happening, there are often challenges, and then you find that people don't understand what is exactly is happening, and there's a sense of disillusionment, and then people start not showing up on time for meetings, and eventually people start falling out, isn't it? Because for a lot of these projects, we are depending upon people who are volunteers. So because we are working within the voluntary sector. So in the voluntary sector, it is very easy to lose people. All right? And sometimes you have to be able to ask yourself the question, why is it that we were a big team of maybe 20 people, and over a period of time, suddenly we can only find ourselves with 2 people, or maybe just by ourselves. So something must have gone wrong somewhere. And most of us belong to not just, working together as small little collective groups. We might also be part of big organizations. So I just want to look into this whole question of enrollment, engagement, and encouragement of volunteers. How do you do it? Now, I did put this quotation of Thomas Jefferson some time ago, where he said that, "May I never get too busy in my own affairs that I fail to respond to the needs of others with kindness and compassion." And that's something really at the heart of what we are about. Often it is we seem to fall back into where we were before, thinking, well, I really need to see about myself before I see about anyone else. And what happens over a period of time, we find that we ourselves become, we're no longer involved in what we meant to be doing. Now, I want to introduce you to this thing called a prom, which is the ring of success. And the ring of success has to do about what you do is that you plan activities. This is the way that you do something. For instance, we're talking about project management. But really what we're talking about is that we want to do something. So what we want to do is that we want to plan activities, and then we realize that in order to get that activity going, we need to recruit volunteers, we need to orient them, and then we need to maintain their interest. And we're going to look at ways of how it is that we can maintain the interest of our volunteers and ensure that they remain with us. And sometimes you have to think about creative solutions. I gave this talk, I think, sometime last year, I believe. Yeah, last year. And when I gave the talk, one of the brothers came up to me who's part of a very large organization nationally, and he said that we're having a problem with retaining our volunteers. It seems as though we don't keep our volunteers more than 3 to 4 months, after which they feel as though that they no longer want to be part of the group, and then they go. But they do stay for about 3 to 4 months, and then they leave. So he said, well, what can we do? And my suggestion was very simple. I said to them, look, what you need to do is that you need to recruit your volunteers only for 3 months. Tell them that what you want them for is for 3 months. Your track record says that they're only remaining for 4 months. So tell them that you only want them for 3 months. Okay? And make it in such a way that this is a 3-month internship. All right? If it is that you want to do another 3-month internship after that, you're welcome to enroll again for another 3 months. So it means that there is a defined starting point, and then there is a defined ending point. That way, you would realize that maybe you have a 100% retention rate, rather than thinking that you have a 100% failure rate of losing your volunteers. Okay, so we need to be a little bit creative sometimes. So I want to introduce you to a model. And this model is called the 3E model. And there's 3 things really. It's about, you need to start doing things about before you enroll people into your project or into your organization. You need to be able to engage them after they have joined you, and then you need to be able to encourage them. So this process of enrolling, engaging, and encouraging is a model I want you to consider, inshallah. So before they begin, after they begin, and how to keep them coming back. Now, one of the things about when we recruit our volunteers to our projects or to our organizations, very often we do not take the time to be able to know exactly who they are and to do a proper background check on them and to be able to assess what type of skills that they possess such that they will be able to help the organization. So having a basic volunteer profile is very important, it's very critical. If you have a team and the team is comprised of 10 people, then you should have a profile of all 10 people. And within your profile, these are some of the things. You need to have a database, and that database must contain things like, what are the special skills of that person? What is their type of experience that they've had? Their education, what is motivating them to be able to join you in the first place? What are some of their experiences, skills that they've had? What is their interest background? All of these things are critical because when we recruit people to work with us, we have to be sensitive to the fact and know that, look, hold on, where can this person best fit in? It may be that this person is best behind, let's say, behind the public audience doing something in the background. It could be that they're very good at cooking. It could be that they're very good at IT. It could be that they just want to be the cleaners. It could be that they just want to be involved in transport. We need to know what is exactly their skills are. You would only be and what it is that they would like to do, rather than you telling them, well, look, we have this event, we don't have anybody to do this, therefore you go and do this. And they may hate it. They may not want to do it because that's not what they would normally do. That's not their area. That's not their special interest. So creating a volunteer profile is very important, and this has to be done for all of your volunteers, for all of your projects. You need to understand who they are. The next thing is that whenever you want volunteers for something, you need to have a job description. Okay? People want to know, well, why do you want me on your project? Why do you want me on your team? Why do you want me in your organization? And therefore, you need to be very specific. We need you in organizing this event because of X, Y, Z. So what is the job? What role do you want me to play? Do you want me to be a facilitator? Okay. What is the job? What does it include? What are the things? Is it just a facilitator or is it meant to be for something else? So all the different things. Be very specific. What is the purpose? What are the responsibilities? Where is it located? With whom will you work? Who are the colleagues? Who are the other team members? Who will be my supervisors on this particular project? How long is this job? When does it begin? What is the skill sets which are required? What do I need to have? And what training will be provided? And this is important. This last point is so important. Often people join teams because they want to improve themselves in a particular area. They may say, well, look, you know what? This team is developing or will teach me the skills of, let's say, organizing an event. So they want to learn the skill of organizing an event, organizational skills. And therefore, they may not know anything about it, which means that you may have somebody on your team who is well versed in the subject, who is a specialist in the subject, or you may not. But you might decide maybe let's recruit someone to be able to sit down with the group of people who would like to learn those skills and teach them, to be able to mentor them through the project. And this is important. So what training will be provided? Once people start realizing that they themselves are improving and they are not just there to do an act or to do a particular type of task, but they are improving. And then this is the thing. So here is a table which tells you what is the job, what is the training needed and provided for that particular job, and what is the expected outcome. And this has to be done. So for instance, if the job was to publish a newsletter, then you can see here workshop on the mechanics of newsletter publishing, meeting with leadership about organizational priorities and perspective. That's the training which is required. And what's the outcome? The outcome is newsletters, issues that convey the organization's message and publicize its work effectively. So that's the type of thing that you're looking for when you recruit people to your organization. So that's the first E that we're talking about. The second E is that of engaging. When somebody, so the person now, he is a volunteer, you've taken all the details, you understand who the person is, you're trying to provide some level of training for them. So they've come into your organization now, and now they're ready to get started. So what do? You have to ensure that you engage them in it. So engaging means utilizing their time effectively. So if you tell them, well, look, you need to organize this large event, they may look at it and say, it seems to be too overwhelming. But if you say, well, hold on, we don't want you to organize, we just want you to be able to focus upon one small aspect of it. Maybe just dealing with the Facebook page. That's the remit of what we want. So utilizing your time effectively, breaking large jobs into smaller components. Then the next thing is making the work relevant. Match the type of job with the type of volunteer. So if somebody is maybe not computer savvy and they're not familiar with social media,